Welcome everyone to Mechs on Deck. Happy New Year! It is 2020. It's kind of crazy. We have a special guest tonight, all the way from Europe. Qlavier.
Hello, it is me.
How you
There are
doing?
no lights in Europe, by the way.
It's 3 a.m., dude. Come on, give him a break.
I almost blinded myself earlier trying to put some lights on. Like my eyes are not adapting well.
Did you have a good New Year's?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was in bed like straight away after it. I don't stay. I don't like fucking up my sleeping pattern too much because I really struggle with staying up. How do you say it? Like I sleep way too much, so I struggle with like fucking up my sleeping pattern too much.
Mhm.
So to stay how do you call it, active? No, not active, fuck, I'm
Consistent.
losing like a lot of it. Yeah, it's really hard to like speak sometimes in English because my I lose a lot of words because I glue all words together into sentences in my head, and then when like one word escapes my mind, it's really difficult to pick it back up. But yeah, what was I even saying? it's too late. I can't even. This is terrible. This is a terrible start. Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Whatever.
Chewy, how was your New Year's? Did you have a good?
It was great. I did basically nothing. I sat and played video games with my wife, and we had enjoyed some beers at New Year's, and went to bed at 1. So, I guess growing up, being an adult, you just we were talking about hanging out, but even you were talking about how like New Year's on a Tuesday is tough
Yeah.
because you're just kind of like, all right, cool. It's the middle of the week.
Yeah, it is a little tough on middle of the week. I came home from work. I got off a little bit early, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take a quick like nap." I'm like really tired. I didn't sleep well the night before. I want to stay up until New Year's at least. Fell asleep for like 4 hours, and then woke up and it was like 11 p.m. and played Overwatch for a couple hours with Geo and Nebulant and Quakeums. Had a good time doing that, and then kind of hung out for a little bit and went to bed. So wasn't a overly crazy New Year's Eve for any of us. It sounds like.
Yeah, New Year's kind of fell off. Like I used to, in my early 20s, I used to do, we used to do like big crazy parties. And then it was like slightly less. And then the other year, Osiris came over and we played the video game Doki Doki Literature Club for like
Jesus
7
Christ.
hours. And that was a lot of fun. I don't even remember what we did there. Maybe that was that last year.
That was
No, that was 2 years ago. Last year we actually had like a small party.
yeah, that was 2 years ago, and then last year was a small party, but it was still only like 5 or 6 people. It wasn't crazy.
Yeah, it's not like insane, but anyway, real quick before we get started, mexondeck.dixiemech.com. Go check out GMK Burgundy will be running very soon, so be sure to get in on that. Zap Cables, if you haven't seen his new update, check it out. He's going to be focusing a lot more on DIY kits as well as in stock cables, which not a lot of people do, and I'm really excited to see how that works. I think it's going to work out great for him, and I'm really excited to see some of the cool stuff that he comes up with. And then last but not least, switchmod.net/mexondeck for 4% off lube and springs. And this month, Metaverse Round 2. Don't miss it, January 18th.
Starts off in the middle of the month, so that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, so Qlavier, I'm not sure if you are familiar. I know you've watched the show before. We do our Fast Four, top 4 of 4 different things.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, Chewy, maybe we should change it up a little bit. Should we change it up
for the new year?
We won't do it today, but maybe we'll think about that. Maybe we'll change something up.
Nah, just YOLO. Just do random shit. I don't mind.
No, we'll keep it the same for right now. We'll go start it
Or
off
maybe
with
we add a fifth one.
ooh.
Fast Five.
Um
Keep the
You can
alliteration.
you can test a new platform right now. It doesn't
All
matter.
right. While you're answering, I'll think of something. I'll think of the fifth.
so the first one we'll go with your top 4 favorite Switches.
I didn't prepare this at all. You literally send me
It
like
was
what I
like I
had to
sent you,
prepare,
I sent you
and
a thing.
I
I was like,
literally
this
I
is
literally
exactly
forgot
what I'm
about
gonna ask
this.
you.
I was just gonna say it on top of my head. I like, and this is like super controversial, but one of my favorite Switches is still the Urumu Sky. It's a terrible, shitty Switch that nobody ever should buy, but it's like relatively cheap, and I like modding Switches, and it's like easy to like just open it, like drill out the bottoms, so it's like not as scratchy. Then just slap some lube on the sides, make sure you don't lose the tactility, and then it's like a decent tactile Switch because I'm mostly into tactiles. Um, and it's like the first Switch that was. I remember like when every Switch was like so boring, and like the Sky came out, and it was like a teal, beautiful, cute little Switch. And then I was asking myself like, why aren't there like more colored Switches that like fit more into like the acrylic builds because you can actually see the Switches from the sides. And then the explosion happened of all the holy pandas. So then I think the rest of my favorite Switches are just iterations of the Holy Pandas, the Yoks, I suppose. But there's like I'm constantly like finding new Switches that I like. Um, the problem is I really have like a bias towards like what is a good name or what is a good looking Switch. Like I think it's almost as important for me to have like a good looking Switch or a good name for a Switch as it is to have like a Switch that feels good in some way. I know it's like a really dumb thing to say, but
What
I
about a
just like
dumb name? What about a dumb name and a dumb looking Switch, but it feels great?
then you're entering like I don't know. Then you're entering meme material. Like it's almost like meme zone in the way that it could also work. But if it's just plain boring and it's just a Switch that like I don't know. Like I had the thing with like how to koala is like such a cute name for like a cute Switch, but then the worst thing is like the whole drama behind it. It's like a Switch that I don't want to like buy. Then I don't know. So I guess just Yok Pandas, Udemy Skies are my favorite Switches, and then the yeah the Ink Switch obviously because you can't go wrong with saying Ink, I suppose.
Nice. Top 4 favorite key sets.
Oh man, this is also really difficult because I love new stuff. So I feel like the best key sets are always the key sets that haven't come out yet for some reason. I'm just like I'm so into a bunch of key sets that are literally like about to go in group buy. Um, but I guess those don't count, right? Only the ones that I actually own, or the ones that I'm trying to
I mean, you can
obtain.
make your list however you would like.
Oh man, I'm so like just on top of my head. I hope I don't forget any of them. But like GMK Botanical is what I'm like really waiting for. Um, GMK Kaiju. Um, I don't know if this is ringing any bells for everyone. I'm uh GMK Future Funk is really high up there because it looks because I love one of my favorite key sets of all time is GMK. Huh, why am I forgetting the name right now? What is the key set? Where is my keyboard? I'm literally blanking right now. I want to say
Can you name some colors?
Phantom. No, it's GMK Phantom.
Phantom.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, I was about to,
My god. I was the name Royal was like stuck in my head and I couldn't say another word. But GMK Phantom is like such a gorgeous set in the sense of like it's purple and pure sunlight, but like if you're in a dark room, it just looks like black with like the yellow accents really fit nice with brass. And it's such a gorgeous key set. And I know like some people didn't like it because it's not what the original like vendor promised, I suppose. I don't really know the details behind it, like the original idea, but I just love the ultimate like ending, like how it came out. And I think GMK Future Funk had like the same kind of aesthetic they were going for, with like dark purple and then all the lighter colored like lettering. I don't know, really gorgeous. But I feel like GMK 9009 is still like my favorite like go-to one that I'm like. Oh yeah, and anything BPMK makes. I'm a real big fan of Beep. I'm a big stan of anything he produces, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
9009 is just like that's just like a standard. Like you
Can't go
can't,
wrong.
yeah, like no one's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
upset with 9009.
not even GMK, but like my favorite key set of all time is just the vintage Azerty key sets
Hmm.
from that are on AEKs. Like just I love the shape of the keycaps too. It's not even like the colorway, but I can't even like explain. Like, they're just like very comfy and very curvy too. Even you guys know the famous like side profile too, like how
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
curve. I don't know. I love this key set to death. But man,
So
obtaining like some good Alp switches is really breaking the bank though.
yeah, especially if you're looking for browns, then you're looking at
Man,
quite a bit of money.
I finally obtained blue switches, and literally was like, yes, awesome! Finally, I'm gonna build a keyboard today because I had all the parts ready. Because I have like new old stock AEKs, but I
Mhm.
don't want to ruin them, so I only take the caps and I buy Alp switches, and then I throw it all together to make like custom AEK 66 ISO versions, which is like my favorite. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna slap these in, and I like press in the blue to like hear the click, and I press it in, and it just sticks there. I'm like, oh no, these are super dirty. And I tried like 20 different ways to like clean them out. I'm gonna use this, that, this, and nothing really works. So I'm gonna have to like bully someone to ultrasonic clean them for me. uh, Struggles. Alps are struggles, but the end result's so satisfying.
So the next of the fast four will be your top four favorite boards, and we'll eliminate your designs or commissions.
Um, Favorite boards. I didn't prepare. Wait. Top five. I'm just gonna list like what's in my mind of like the worst thing is the only because my acrylic uh like my addiction to acrylic came actually from watching RMK and seeing all the pretty stuff, not having the money and being like fuck, I want like cool keyboards too. So then I just started to fuck around a little bit with acrylic and actually got to like uh what Qlavier is now. But one of the only group buys that I really had struggles with to like not join in the end was Illumina. But now I hear that the project is absolutely
It's
yeah,
rough.
and it's very rough.
We are
Let's
both in the
Oh really?
Yeah.
group.
Oh man.
And
You have no clue. Do you know like the feeling when you like open the web page every day and you're like, I want to buy this keyboard, and you like, just stare at it for like a solid like 5 minutes, right? And you close it again, and then the next day you do exactly the same thing, and you like that's what I did with the Lumina. I like looked at the pictures like almost every day. I was like, fuck, this looks so good. I'm like, fuck, I want this. And then I'm like, nah, just don't think about it. Don't even look it up, like how much it should cost. Don't even like think about it. I had this with like some Rama boards too, because Ram like I'm gonna be honest, like I like the story behind the board too, and I feel like Rama is it's almost it's not even just the board you buy, it's like the whole idea of Rama that you kind of buy into, because then you need to get the trays, you need to get like the desk mat, you need to get like the whole story of Rama. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your money. You don't just want to buy one Rama board. You want to get like the full experience, if that makes sense, almost.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like an
But
ecosystem.
yeah, almost like an ecosystem, and I really respect like what Rama does. Uh, like, but one of my favorite boards, I'm pretty biased again. I don't know if you guys know kind of keyboards. Um, it's a guy because I mostly visit Salvan whenever I have the time because I love being in his shop and I love being like in his presence because he's a fucking smart guy and what he does is amazing. And a friend of mine recently contacted him to make like a special keyboard, and I really don't like the status quo of a lot of the keyboard designs. They're very blocky, and I love what Adron does. If you guys know Adron, he designed the Ivy and he's doing like really crazy weird designs, trying to like break out of the meta of what like most people consider as like a high-end keyboard right now. And same with Kinda keyboards. He made like the Concept One. It's like a really sharp angled keyboard.
Yeah, that's the
And
one
I,
that's
I
like
should
magnets, right? Like it's held together by
yeah,
magnets. Yeah.
it's because I was very skeptical at first because I was like, it's like this is gonna go wrong, this is gonna go wrong. And I went to Selvon and he actually had like a painted one, white, and it was like the first test of like how actually like all the tolerances would work out. There were like a ton of problems, but in the end, like he fucking like hovers it on top, then drops it, and it's like falls in place. It's just like it fits so nicely, and like the angles from the side, it makes it look so like aggressive, but also feels like so like you want to like hold it constantly. Have you ever like I love having a keyboard that you like constantly like want to like pick up and like hold.
Hmm.
I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Tangible.
Yeah,
I get it.
tangible. Yeah, like I have the thing where you like run your fingers on top of it. Like the canoe has the same thing where it's like the little groove on top is like the same like where you want to like put your finger on top of it like constantly if you're not typing on it, you know?
I feel you.
Um,
Sense for us like a sensory effect.
yeah, I'm really like a fidgety kind of guy that always needs to like. So it's very difficult to log down like, oh, these are my like top 5 different designs. More like aspects that I love to like, because I've been toying around with like my own because I obviously want to do more than just acrylic, but it's just like I love like taking aspects of like different kind of boards and like I want to do something like this. But it's very hard to find something you're 100% like happy with, because even combining like your favorite aspects of different kind of boards doesn't produce like the ultimate good keyboard. It just produces a Frankenstein monster that looks absolutely terrifying. But yeah, um I guess it's more like a top 5 of aspects that I like about keyboards.
It's okay.
Oh man, this is kind of sad because I feel like I'm gonna, as soon as this Skype call, Discord call ends and like the stream, I'm laying in bed, I'm gonna be like, this keyboard, fuck, why didn't I see this or that? Oh god. Yeah, I'm
So,
blanking now.
and
Terrible.
last but not last, because I've got the 5th question.
Well,
If you want to ask the 4th
I'll
one,
ask the 4th one. So this one should hopefully be a little bit easier to kind of nail down. Your top 4 favorite foods.
I live on pizza. I love pizza. Anytime I can, I will order pizza. That's my number 1, 2, and 3 probably. 2 different toppings count as a different kind of food. Also, I'm Belgian, so I love waffles. Waffles. What else? Jesus, yeah, I'm blanking so hard right now. It's terrible. I love like one of the things I love the most. It's like all obtain fast are things I love. Like I love ramen, but there are no good ramen places anywhere close to me. So I have like some friends that live in Paris. Every time I go to Paris, the only thing I consume is just ramen. I go get boba, like everything like big cities have to offer, or I even go get bingsu. Like all the things that like a big city has to offer is like the things I do, and I would consider my favorite foods. But if I actually lived in a big city, I don't think I would consider them my favorite food anymore. It's just things that I really crave, that because I can't get it right now or get it right here. Hmm.
Absolutely. All right,
Just a
Chewy.
good
I have the same with Crystal Burgers. Like they're not even that good.
Dude, don't you say that. Crystal
Oh,
Burger is amazing.
It's like it's not like when you're sitting there and you're eating them and you're like, this is
I
the
went to
greatest thing ever. But if I had a Crystal Burger near me, I probably wouldn't like it nearly as much as I do. But it's because I can have them once every 2 years and I eat like 20 of them and then want to die.
I went to New York like in September, and I tried Shake Shack for the first time. And then I tried Shake Shack 6 more times. And then I had to leave, and now I crave Shake Shack. And I've been looking up like recipes, like how the hell do I recreate Shake Shack here at home? And you get like recipe lists of like, here's how you make the sauce, really easy. You need just like 27 ingredients. And like, how do you put 27 ingredients just in like one of just the sauce, and then have these things that like make no sense. You can't find it anywhere. You need to like make it yourself, and you need to get like they say like, oh, add like 1 teaspoon of pickle juice. So I need to go out and buy like a jar of pickles just for like 1 spoon of pickle juice. It's so weird because like I want that American food, because I really thought like, oh, the Americans, they eat like very fatty, like salty stuff and so like big portions. But man, I ate some really good food in America that's like unobtainable over here.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like Shake Shack, if I remember correctly, they use like 3 different types of meat in their patties. So it's like a blend. So you got to buy 3 different types of ground beef. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you need to like squish it down onto like the pan. And I tried that a couple of times because you're like goop, and then you need to press it down,
oh,
and then it's
a
like all
smash
the way.
burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried that, and it just like sticks to my pan, and like fuck, and I ruined like almost a good ass what's it called, Teflon. That's
Teflon.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ruined my mom's Teflon pan that way because I used because you need to use like a metal scraper, and I was like, and then yeah, the side was like scuffed. So now I'm not allowed to use her Teflon pan anymore.
I'm just
That's
trying to
not-
make Shake Shack. Calm down, Mom.
Just like a crazy guy trying to mix like 27 ingredients. I'm making the sauce. Leave me alone.
So it looks like you're making 40 gallons of this sauce.
Oh, man.
So here's my idea. Ready?
Okay.
You're going to come up with your top 4. You come up with a question, Qlavier. Sorry, Qlavier. Or energy. Qlavier!
Jesus Christ, my ears. What kind of question? I feel like it needs to be pretty universal that everybody could answer.
Oh, you can ask a very specific question. I'll bullshit my way through the question if I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I think mostly what I'm interested is always like creative processes. Like, what is your creative process if you put anything out there? It can be like building keyboards, or like what is. Because I'm like, what is your creative process, if that makes sense? And it can
For
apply
like
to
Mechs
anything.
on Deck?
Yeah, even mechs on deck, or even how you like start a keyboard build. Like, what is your creative process? Does it make sense? Just wing it. You can do it.
You can do both. You can do the Mechs on Deck creative process and our each our. Why don't we start with the keyboard one, and then we can go through the Mechs on Deck process.
Like creative process for keyboards, like when you're going to like putting together like a build, like in terms of like
Kind of.
deciding
Yeah.
what you want.
Do you guys actually? Because I was wondering, because I had that discussion with another friend. There's like really keyboards. Like, do you guys actually buy all parts to form like the one ultimate keyboard, or do you guys buy like individual pieces that you just like and then try to combine them after?
Like planning out the build, not sort of. It just kind of depends. Like, so for me, for instance, how I approach a keyboard is usually I'll find a switch that I like. So I'll test a bunch of different switches. And then once I find a switch that I really like, I'll try a couple different. And finding a switch is like its own process, as I'm sure you know, since you like to mod switches. But I'll type on that for a few, probably like 2 weeks. I'll type on it for a week, go to something else, go back to it for a week, and if I like it, then I'll go, okay, I'm going to make a board with these switches. And then it's kind of just, at least in the last year, it's been like, okay, well, what's coming in? How expensive are the switches? Cheaper, larger format boards are going to probably have more inexpensive switches because I don't want to spend $300 on switches for a TKL. And then I guess putting everything together, usually I'll have a good idea of like PCB doesn't really matter to me. I like plain and simple. And then I don't really match things, so it's not. There's never really like I don't really like you, or like I guess the opposite of you. Really, I don't care what my switches look like. That's why I made one of the ugliest switches that exists. I think. But and then I kind of have an idea of what keycap set to throw on it. But that's that's subject to change. So things rotate a lot.
Yeah, I'm similar. I like to think that I don't try to keep a ton of different like things in stock more or less, but right now I have a ton of different like switches that are just don't have homes. But I've formulated out what I want to do with it, like down to every piece pretty much. Like we have a form that has all of Chewy's boards, all of my boards, and then a couple other people in our community, all of their like I guess their board inventory. And whenever I know I'm going to get something new, I always try to go in there and like plan it out. And so I know, okay, well, this cap set's going on this one. And when I get this new set that I'm excited about, I'm going to put it on this board and it's going to shift these 3 other boards, what's on it. So that's kind of how I formulate things, I guess. That's more or less my creative process. I don't know if that 100% answers your question, but
yeah. And then the mechs on deck process is, I mean, I guess there's 2 parts. There's 2 things we output with like episodes, and we've recently done it, but basically coming up with an idea, and Osiris and I will talk about ideas. I have a little bit more free time during the day than Osiris does, like more dead time at work. So I usually will just like think of an idea, run it by him, and he gives me the okay to go ahead and write everything, and then I'll just type up like a spreadsheet. It's more talking points than like this is exactly what we're gonna say.
Mhm.
And then we just do it, and Osiris makes everything look really pretty.
yeah.
And then interviews are a little bit more complicated because that requires talking to people.
Mhm.
And so that process is just, I mean, shooting people messages and hoping they don't ghost you. I've only been 100% ghosted by one person.
Ooh.
We used to when we first started. When we first started doing interviews, bringing people on, we would write out the full questions. Like we had a Google Doc that had, okay, Chewy's gonna ask this question, I'm gonna ask this question, and we go back and forth, and we'd send it out, and it was one of those things that while it was nice in order for like I guess preparation, it didn't leave a lot for us to kind of input. Um, it just felt a little bit robotic, and so that's when we kind of shifted it up, and it's more or less just not what it is now and what it's been for the past couple months of us just kind of hanging out. It allows us to get more questions from chat. It allows us to kind of elaborate and maybe go a little bit more in depth on each piece of thing that we're interested in. And then yeah, I do a
I'd
lot of
say
stuff.
in general, it inputs a lot of like actual like good fun conversation
Right. It's more
as opposed to
conversational.
just like here answer these 40 questions over the next hour and a half to 2 hours. So
Yeah. And then I do a lot of the stuff like Chewy said of the like the layouts, the overlays, the filming stuff, like trying to make stuff look decent. Learning how to do new things in like After Effects and Photoshop and Premiere. So definitely it's fun, it's cool because we have 2 different like mindsets when we approach things. Um I think of things in like a lot of like marketing and sales and like aesthetics and stuff, and Chewy's like very much on like he wants to talk about like the meat and potatoes. It's we've made the
Mhm.
joke before of like I make the cover to the book, Chewy writes the book. So
but you got to get the book off the shelf somehow. So But yeah, so that's our fifth. Our fast five is, and if you would like to answer it, by all means, what is your creative process into making some? We'll get to that in a second. What's your creative process?
Man, it's very dependent on like what kind of project I'm tackling. But with Qlavier, it's just iteration upon iteration. I tend to like design stuff pretty rapidly, of like having a very rough concept of like what I have in my brain. But I'm very like hands-on of like what I want to like have in front of me, and then I just cut it. I put it together, see if it works, see what's wrong, then recut it, and I go through like at least like minimum at least 7 like 8 designs, which is kind of sad because I have like 7 kind of, it's mostly like parts of the keyboard or parts of the actual case tend to get like replaced, so I never have like 7 spare cases sitting around that are like kind of good but not really. But sometimes I do, and it really hurts to like throw those away because I don't want to sell them. I don't want to have like really shitty cases on Mech Market, because I used to do that, uh, and I don't. It's like a shitty process, I suppose. But like I'm mostly like iterate, like hands-on, actual cutting, actually doing stuff. So yeah.
And so, for anyone who is watching that isn't familiar with what you do, can you kind of talk a little bit about your keyboards and kind of how you started and how you got into the acrylic?
How Anthony just tried to explain it once. It's keyboard lasagna. It's literally I layer parts of acrylic. I don't know. I need lights. I didn't pay the bills. I have no light. Sorry, it's not gonna work out. Wait, maybe if I share this one, I suppose I just layer acrylic. I laser cut it. I have a friend. Okay, wait. Let's go back to the start. I was in uni, and decided that I really wanted to have a keyboard. So I bought some PCBs from KBD Fans that arrived boinked, but I didn't even realize that you had to test them, or I didn't even know what would make a keyboard work. So I just assumed they would work, right? Then I like laser cut some cases. They were terrible. They were absolutely horrible. And then I put everything together and I realized, hey, this is kind of cool. But this doesn't work. So I ordered new PCBs and I made one, like my first was like an ortho. I think it was like a JJ40 PCB into just like 2 acrylic plates. And put like just cheap DSA caps from AliExpress on top of it, and tried to take some good pics for mechanical keyboards, like the subreddit. And someone like literally DM'd me and said, "Hey, that's a cool board. How do I make this?" And I said, "You don't have to make this. I have 2. I'm kind of want to sell one because I did have 2 at that point. Because one was going to go to my friend, but my friend then realized that ortholinear keyboards are a terrible idea when you don't like when you don't so like really want to like dedicate yourself to like learning it." And the guy was like, "Oh, cool. That's awesome. I want to buy it." And he bought it. So I had one left, and then somebody else messaged me too, asked the same thing, and did the same thing. I said, "Hey, I have actually 2 because I realized that I can't type on ortho, even though I will try like 4 more times in the future and fail every time." But I did the exact same thing and sold that one off too. And with that money, I built 4 new keyboards because I was like, "Hey, if I can flip these, and those weren't even like that good looking, and I like slightly improved all the designs, and then flipped them again on Mech Market." Then I saw the slant come by, and then I made the Keyblade, which pretty much took off, I suppose. That was like my first big break, I suppose. Like that was the first thing like people really really liked that I made, and I kind of went from like the Keyblade because it had like the very sharp edges to like the more curved edges, and then I really experimented with like how can I make like a more curve in my design? How can I make them actually tilted? What kind of hardware can I use? Like if you go back all the way like back in my post, you can see like I started out with like really shitty copper hardware from my actual uni, and I did like metal hardware with like really really big screws and bolts, and then I went like all like smaller and smaller and used like because my dad owns a lighting company, and I like every time I
The
visit his
irony
house,
is not past me.
I still like
Sitting in the dark. My dad owns a lighting company.
that's a whole other thing. It's like Fuck. Okay, whatever.
Sorry, had to. You gotta take your
Yeah, I was
shot
like-
when you
yeah.
can, right?
And that was quick too. That was very nice. But yeah, every time I visit his company, I like steal like a bunch of like really because he has like bespoke, let's say like really custom fittings that are used for like his lighting. Because what they do is like they have to like pull cables through like the chassis of the actual like lighting, right? So you need to like route cables through like metal. So he has like these really nice fittings that are on the keyblade. I don't know if I can even show you. Nope, I can't. It's too dark. But they're like brass fittings on the edges. Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah, you
see
can
them
kind of
here.
see them.
Yeah. So these are these. I had like a bunch of these, and they're literally like little holes. As you can see, normally you put cables through them, and those were like really nice additions to the keyblade. So I had like access to like really nice hardware, I suppose, to like make something really special looking. So yeah, that's what I do. I make acrylic, and yeah, I'm just trying to get better from here on out. But what I'm mostly trying to work towards too, and that's for 2020, is I'm sitting on an enormous library right now of like good designs that I like finished that are ready to be produced. But as I said, I started out on a uni cutter from uni, but quickly moved because my to another cutter that my friend has that he bought because he was studying architecture and he needed to build a lot of maquettes. Like what do you call that? Like little houses, the maquettes.
No, that's
So
what's it called?
Models, like little.
Models. Just
yeah,
models.
like models. Yeah, he laser cuts them in like paper and then he like glues them together, and then you get like really complex houses and like architectural things.
It's like Lego
So
building
yeah,
for adults.
Yeah.
yeah, basically. So I used his cutter a ton because he had a really fine cutter with really fine settings. So all the curves on my boards looked really dope. I didn't have to do any finishing. But now I found a really good company that actually does débrouiller work. I don't even know what it translates to in English. But basically, it means like when you cut an actual acrylic plate, all the edges will be rough as hell. So they will just like sand it, and then they have like a machine of like bristles, I suppose. They're really shining up the sides, so you can like really see through it. Normally, they use it for like really big acrylic pieces that they would like pour themselves and put like stuff in between. But then like every side needs to be shiny, so they use like a really big machine like to shine up all the sides and you get like those awards. You know, like those cubes of acrylic that
Mhm.
are like shine through from every side. Basically, that's the kind of process. So I hope for 2020 I will be able to work closer with them. I'm still waiting for like a bunch of prototypes from them and like to like be 100% sure that everything works because I had problems. I actually in September also worked together with another company because I wanted to be really hands-on. And what they did is they flamed the sides to make them really shine through. So because it's really important for like if you have a keyboard in your hand because it's an object you actually want to use. You want to have like the sides to be really smooth and really nice looking. But if you flame the sides, you actually like harden the acrylic on the sides. Every time you put it down or like you bump against something, it will chip hardcore and like parts of acrylic will like, fly out and be like almost glass-like, like really sharp shards. It's like a really small detail, but it's like there's so many things that I like want to do right, especially if I'm gonna do really like large amounts of boards in one go. And I don't want to like fail, especially not the first time, you know.
Yeah.
But I have a big backlog right now of designs put out there. So that's my future, hopefully.
So for those who don't know, Qlavier has been extremely generous and is giving away the Keyblade that you saw earlier. Blue, very cool, very unique board. Would be a great Switch tester board,
It really would be.
or
Switch
just like
tester, just fully using it, man. It's
one.
important.
Sorry, I guess I should say tester board
Like
of just
to
trying out new
break in
switches.
switches, yeah. Yeah.
Is that a Gundam?
Is
It looks. I mean, so also just because we're in America and we have to worry about this, Qlavier is not responsible for any and all deaths that come by Keyblade. So if it's going to someone in Florida,
Yeah.
you just never know.
I can see the
Florida man murders
Florida
someone
man murders
with keyboard shaped sword.
bird shaped machete.
So we'll be giving that away towards the end of the stream. So thank you very, very much. I want to talk about the Keyblade because when I got into the hobby, that was probably the most unique thing I have seen. Let's see. I don't know if you remember what month you put up. The first iteration was put up July 19th of 2018. Was the first picture on your Instagram, at least this Instagram.
Yes.
So, so I'd been in the hobby I had just not foolishly, but child-esque excitement gotten in on the M0110. I'll let you know how that board is whenever I get it. So, and I remember seeing this Keyblade and being like, "What the fuck is this thing?" It's like, why is it? And I was like, and at this time, we're running one GMK keycap set. Rama owns the world. TX is still a huge player. Keycolt's not a thing. TGR is kind of a thing. So it's still very small and very, subtle. And I just remember seeing this board and being like, is this where this hobby's going? Like, I want to see boards I can actually use, not these weird shaped keyboards. So please tell me how you came upon the idea and design of the Keyblade.
No joke. The actual I posted, as I said, I used to cut crappy boards on a uni cutter at uni, and the first pick I took was my sister was holding it, the actual a keyboard, and also had this is I used to work together with another girl from my uni, and that was Qlavier was 2 people first, and the girl was in a lot of the pictures too, because that's why people thought I was a girl at the start, which is also a weird thing because I got a lot of dick pics on my Instagram.
Wait,
That's a whole
Wait,
I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it.
Wait.
I got really weird messages.
Oh my god.
That's actually a problem. With
please clip that.
You got dick pics?
Yeah, but it's really weird because people get, I don't know, there's really something weird because I don't think I've ever met a guy in real life that is that brain dead to do that, to leave comments in that way. But every time people think I'm a girl online, or when I post a picture, I have a friend Madison, who posted the pics of the Qlavier shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
And she posted a pic of her wearing it together with her keyboard on Reddit, and the comments she got were absolutely hilarious to me, but to her, she was so upset. She got nice karma whoring, whore, and really dumb shit like that. And then somebody reposted her to r/art hose and art hose.
God.
Some it was really funny shit to me, but to her it was the worst thing ever. I was oh, I'm sorry, I'll make it up to you. I'll send you a hoodie. I'm sorry, please. But it's a really there's really something weird about again, maybe it's this hobby too, but it's very male dominated probably. It's man, some guys can be really, really weird about some stuff. Nice keyboard, but you're cuter, and then they slide into the DMs and they're like, "Hey, where are you from? Why are you not answering?
Please clip this.
Please answer."
I did see your post today about that, about the Clack Cat shirt. It doesn't surprise me that people are creepy. It does surprise me that they would send you dick pics to something that was a business.
I literally got two dick pics, but what is a dick pic? It's one guy sending his crotch dirty. I remember the first Keyblades that I ever made, because I made some samples, and I remember one guy was "Oh, I'll buy it from you. Oh, I'll pay double. Just one." I paid double because I want to support a small business. I'm yeah, this guy likes me. This guy wants to see me go to the top. And then soon after, you're can you please leave a lipstick kiss on the keyblade, and then
You should have done it. I would have done it.
Yeah, I would have been like, I was like,
Can-Do'sville, baby doll.
like, I'm getting so many like weird like repressed thoughts, like all like they're all like bubbling up, like all the weird stuff that I had like some really weird messages already. But yeah,
That's amazing.
this is totally derailed. There was like something important I was saying, I think. I can't
Keyblade.
remember now. Oh yeah.
You started posting pictures of the Keyblade, but it was not you. It was
the origin of the Keyblade was literally I a picture of like a keyboard I just made, a really bad one, and some guy spoke in the worst broken English. He said, what if keyboard was blade? Haha, that was it. What if keyboard was blade? Wait, I can literally find it. Wait, if you guys hold on 1 second, I'll find the actual comment because it's broken English. And it was upvoted so hard, and it was literally just like, "What if keyboard was a blade, haha," or something. And I was like, "What do I do with this comment?" Because it was pretty high upvoted. I thought it was pretty funny, so I was like, "Ah, what if keyboard is blade? You know, what if maybe he's right? What if?" So I made keyboard a blade, keyblade. Even like I'm actually terrible. I didn't invent the here. You should make sword handle for it weapon on a keyboard. That was it. And that was by Aaron69. Aaron, you literally made, that's what he said. You should make a sword handle for it. Weapon.
You should make a sword handle.
I still understand. And then somebody
you should sew a shirt that says that.
And I said, like, the keep would be the blade, ? And then somebody under it said, Keyblade, new weapon for Kingdom of Hearts. So my entire career right now is literally dedicated to Aaron69 commenting that, and then Minimal Consequences commenting Keyblade under it. I'm literally, I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. I didn't come up with any of this. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a great story, and arguably one of the best stories I think that's ever been told on this channel.
I just am still mind blown about the random dick pics.
I mean, I can show them. I think if I scroll back,
you can't show them.
Maybe
we enjoy our Twitch channel. And we don't want to be banned for.
I can describe them very vividly.
I think that's also against TOS.
Maybe
not Pog.
What if you're just describing an egg? What if you're just describing an eggplant?
Yeah, exactly.
In grotesque detail.
Oh man.
But also,
well, yeah, it's a very interesting board. I don't think if I have seen one in person, I don't remember it 100%. But I have. Because I've typed on one because they had SA on. It was an SA cat board. But yeah, it's a unique board. I think it could literally win the award for unique board.
I feel like that's such a bad category. It's like, man, it has nothing going for it. It's just weird. It's unique, I guess. It's literally what my dad says with a shitty gift. It's like, oh, it was unique, man. Nice, thank you. Play it.
It wasn't very memorable. That's not against Qlavier. That's against the person who made it, but the person who built it. But I guess I guess I didn't pick it up and just start swinging though. And I guess that's what you should do with your Keyblade, is at least give it one good swing.
It was not a Keyblade, but I brought I have also a mech shetty, and it's like a candy bar PCB of the key company into the aesthetic. I actually have it. I'm gonna grab it.
It's all about weapons and keyboards.
So it's long as hell. You see it?
Oh my god, wow. That's awesome!
Yeah.
I need that.
I took this thing to the Paris meetup, and literally it couldn't be on the table for more than a second, or somebody would be like, "This is epic! Whoa, whoa!" Smashing brands, dude. Nobody would touch any keyboard, but seeing the keyblade, they were like, "God, this is awesome, man! I love this!" And there was a big strap around it, so people were hanging it across them, and making pictures. I was like, "Man, that's my keyboard!" And when it came back, because it was transparent acrylic, right? it was
foggy.
It was literally foggy. you could like there was like you could like wipe off the finger oils with it, and
Ugh.
like in between, still it's actually disgusting. I still didn't clean it. Can you see like the white spots in between it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
This literally, it's so beautiful, and it's like such a good memory because the Paris meetup was absolutely amazing. Please, if anyone is close in Europe and the next Paris meetup comes, like even if it's like a 10-hour drive, go to the Paris meetup. It's amazing. It's fantastic. People are really, really sweet there. And like I gave away so much stuff, but I went home because I was like, oh, I'm gonna give away like 10 keyboards and it's gonna be like I'm gonna be broke after it, but I came back with like a heavier bag. Like that's how much stuff I got back. And
Hmm.
it's amazing like how you think like this community is like online very like accepting and like oh like very lovingly, but then you go to like an actual meetup and it's like the same warmth but in real life. And I've never experienced like an actual community like that transcends just being like online in that way. That was a whole tangent, but yeah. I really like the Paris meetup.
Yeah, usually I've found in this community, I've seen that. By the way, Top Clack, thank you for the subscription. But in this community, I feel like people are a lot nicer in person, and not like they weren't mean to begin with. But it's like, oh, I can't wait to hang out with this person. And when you hang out with them, you're like, that was the best time ever. Like that was story of NorCal with IMEURU. Like we had a blast hanging out with him, and we talked to him online a few times, but it was just a lot of fun. It's meetup. If you can go to a meetup, go to a meetup. I would love to go to the Paris meetup, but that would cost me,
Do it. I'm not
every
even
keyboard I
joking.
own.
But
Be
dude,
a very
Paris is amazing.
expensive. Be a very expensive meetup to it.
I'm not
I,
even
I
joking.
have been,
Sell some keywords, come.
I have been to Paris before. I'd have to brush back up on my French, but
Bonjour, Qlavier. Easy.
Bonjour, Qlavier. Ça va?
Tout va bien? Et toi?
Oh, c'est comme ci, comme ça.
Now we lost like half the viewers because nobody's
Yep.
French.
I took French in high school because that's what you do in Texas.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, is that actually a thing?
No.
Oh,
You can
no,
take
no.
French. Like that's the two main options is like Spanish and French.
okay.
Probably about 95% of the population takes Spanish because it's a little bit more useful, considering we are directly above Mexico.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. And you took French. Why?
Well, I took Spanish and I can't roll my R's, but I can go all day long.
Oh, perfect. It's also the
And-
language of love, so it
Exactly.
works,
And
like-
so, and it was also just one of those things where I was like, I can pick up on enough Spanish to understand what's happening. I might not be able to speak it, but it was just kind of like, well, I know I'm going to struggle in Spanish, and I actually did really well in French. So, and I think a lot of that just came from I had a teacher in like 7th grade that was like that really harped on me for not being able to roll my R's. So, fuck
I'm
rolling
sorry,
your
man.
R's. Anyway, so you obviously the Keyblade exploded, and you were able to do a lot of stuff. What would you say? What is one of your kind of go-to favorite layouts? Because you traverse quite a few different layouts.
I've tried it all. I've literally tried it all. I always become how do you say, very courageous with my layout. Yes, I'll do this. The first thing I saw was like this land. I was like, this is amazing because there's something wrong with my fingers and I can't do ortho because my fingers cramp up when I'm like trying to like do the ortho layout. So I'm like, I'm gonna get a slant because that's the first thing I saw. I saw a slant and I was like, this would be amazing to make like a blade looking board out of because it's already sharp. And there was also not a lot of support, and Zip Tie is an amazing guy. Like he's so sweet and he gave me like all the support he could, like throw me files at me. Like amazing guy. I'm sad like he doesn't have much time for keyboards right now. Because he has like so many like designs and IDs and like layouts and PCBs planned, but because of like family stuff and like I'm not gonna like don't want to say too much because I don't know how comfortable he is with sharing. but like it's kind of sad like when somebody like loses a bit of touch with the hobby that way. But he's an amazing guy. He gave me like all the support to like I don't even know where I'm going with this again. I keep on like starting to talk and then I lose where I was about to go. But yeah, oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, I started out with this because I thought ortho doesn't work. I'm gonna go with the prionic because I needed an extra row on top. Didn't work, so I went to the slant to get actually like the actual stagger down. Typed on it for like a solid week, and I was like, maybe this will work. And then the UK meetup was, and I sent my actual slant, my personal slant, out to Ryan, if you know him, Ryan George. He helped design Minimal. Anyways, the guy went to the UK meetup with my board, and then I only got it back like a week ago. So that was like a year and a half later that I got my own board back. So I never got into this land too much. The Keyblade is a little bit unwieldy for daily, I suppose. Not that you can't use it. Please buy Keyblades if
It's
you can.
extremely portable.
It actually is extremely portable.
It's got
I
a
saw
handle.
some guy sent me pictures of him. He was working at a tech startup. Apparently, it wasn't that important because he was walking around with two keyblades, uh, like constantly, which is pretty funny. Like, imagine like having a strap on, imagine like walking into like a tech startup and there's just like a guy walking around with like two blades around like his neck that are like keyboards, like just walking around. I don't know. Like, the idea is just absurd, but it looks pretty cool. Then I went more to like the 65%. I kind of no, I went to 60% then, and I made a bunch of 60%, but I never got used to because I do a lot of editing in Illustrator. Like I use Adobe packages constantly, and I need my dedicated arrow keys. So yeah, 65% is like my go-to. My first board I started with is actually Varmillo. Um, like my favorite layout is still like this layout. Let me grab a let me grab a board real quick. Like the first keyboard I started out with was a VAC9, which is like a 65% layout. And I liked it so much. I like messaged Varmello and told him, hey, my keyboard broke. Can you send me another PCB? Because I was like, I'm gonna get a PCB from Varmello because I like the layout and it's pretty cheap probably. And I'm gonna, like make a keyboard around it. And she's like, "Oh yes," and it broke. What is your serial number? I'm like, "Oh, this is my serial number." She's like, "Okay, you need a PCB." I'm like, "Could I get 5 PCBs?" She was like, "Why would you need 5 replacement PCBs?" I was like, and then I like kept talking, and yeah, she sent them over. But like, this is the actual layout, and it has like the cluster on top here. Oh wait, it's here. Like that is like floating on top, and I like the aesthetic too. The only thing, if I ever make a board, and I've been like trying to get my own PCBs made for so long, because I actually want like it's you will see in the near future. I want to do like a whole column here, but like exactly the same layout. And I love this thing. Also, Udamu skies, huh? They're all they're not even modded. These are like stock Udamu skies. There's no caps on this for a reason. But this is the first board I ever made that like that is actually functional. With a
Really?
brass plate. Uh, the fun fact is like the etching on the back. I put this on. I was like, "This looks dope," and I look and I flip it around. I'm like, "Wait, I mirrored this," and it's like unreadable. But like in pictures, I flipped it in every Instagram pic. So like people don't understand like how powerful Instagram is too. Like you only see like the good shit, and sometimes I like try to like show like on Instagram, "Hey, I cut this keyboard like 20 times and totally fucked up the first 19 times." I fuck up so much stuff. People always think like, oh, like this picture, like I only post like the good pictures, but I fuck up a lot. I break so much stuff. I sometimes come home after like a long day of cutting, like sit down, and then I see like my whole like like all plates were like offset by like 1 millimeter and have like an overcut or something, and I like just wanna cry, you know? Um, so definitely like that's maybe like the worst thing about social media is like you only see the good parts, and I feel like that's a lot with keyboards because I got really um like down, seeing like, oh, how good Rama does, and like, oh, everybody's so perfect with all their boards and they never have problems. And then when you go deeper, you go like you dive into the Discord channels, you see like a little bit of the drama and a little bit of like what goes wrong, and even people criticizing, for example, Rama. Like, and it realized, oh, nobody's actually a god. Everybody's like trying their best and like, you know? Um, which really helps. I don't where am I going with this again? I don't know.
Oh, you're
Uh
good.
Just hold the mic
yeah.
up, man.
Yeah, it's but
I'm
no,
There you
I'm,
go.
but no, that is very true. Like, you know, a lot of social media is very much like it's not actually the reality of the situation. It's this is your best foot forward. You don't want to post things that are bad. Um, so yeah, it
Yeah.
can be discouraging sometimes. Sometimes you look at maybe the life someone leads on social media and you're like, man, they must have it great, but in reality they don't. They've got
yeah.
other stuff going on. So yeah, definitely understand that.
Well, then it's nice. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, it goes true for a lot of things, but in the keyboard world, like I know a lot of people that can't stand ramen boards, and I know a lot of people that don't like TGR. I know a lot of people that don't like TX boards. Um, there are things that you will all people there will be a large group of people that don't like. I know, like the M60, the first one, was largely criticized for the sound, and the overall feel and the plate design.
Mhm.
And that's just one of those things. I'm like, it's a great board, but every board has its problems. And at the very end of that list of has its problems, that at least somebody's going to be pissed off is if it doesn't have any of those problems, it's really expensive. Um,
Mhm.
and then that's it. You start pissing off more and more people. Um,
Oh yeah.
and so it just kind of becomes this thing where it's like, well, you're not gonna there's not gonna be a perfect board. I mean, you can show me the nicest 65% board on the planet and I'll still just be like, cool, never gonna buy it, just because I don't like that layout. The Iron 165, the Bauer, great looking boards, they look fantastic. I will never own one. Like, I would literally give one away if someone gave it to me and just be like, cool, somebody else can use this because I won't.
Damn.
It's just personal preference. It's like something can look amazing, feel amazing, sound amazing, but if it's something that at the core I'm not a fan of, I'm not going to use. So
Mm. Hey, I have another good proposal of like a good question you can ask every guest. That is endgame. Is it a liar or is it truth?
ooh. No
That's
such thing
actually
as end game, only such thing as Grail boards.
I don't even think
It's
there's
like in the
grail boards. I think it's just this is your right now what you want. Like it's always changing. Everything is always changing. Something like you said when you talked about your keycap sets. You always feel like the ones you want the most, the ones that you think are the best, are the ones that haven't been released yet. It's gonna be the same thing for boards. You can say, "Oh, this board is the best board I've ever seen. It's the best board I've ever had." But once you get it, something else comes out. You're like, "Okay, well now that's the best." Okay, well now that's the
Mhm.
best. There might be one or two that stick with you for a long time. At the same time, you're always gonna be changing your processes and what you. So
Yeah, I say Grail boards because it's not something that, like, once I obtain this, I'm done. It's more of a I want to work to get that. Like, I hope to one day own one of these. But no, in game is a weird. I would love, my wallet would love me if I bought the end all be all board. But the other thing on top of that is I would never know exactly what I want out of a board if I didn't own a bunch of different boards to compare it to.
Mhm.
So
Do you guys flip out boards for different purposes? Like imagine, oh, I'm gonna do some Excel like bookkeeping right now, or I'm gonna go gaming. Like, do you guys actually like swap out keyboards that way, or do you guys do it more on like a timely basis? Like next day, gotta try something else this time.
you can go,
um
Chewy.
yeah, I used to, but I don't own. um I swapped off of. I basically told myself that every board that I own, I should be able to do everything that I want to do with it, and then I usually swap out at a weekly basis. Right now, I'm not, just because My own board is on my desk and will be there for a while.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's usually like by the week. Like I got rid of my HHKB boards, and I got rid of my Zephyr, and I got rid of a couple other boards that
Damn. So you're
I.
coming to Paris, man?
It was a long time ago,
Uh,
but I got rid of this stuff because I was like, well, I can't game with it. I will say the Austin will be very difficult to game with. That is a board that I might have to pick up and move to the side and throw in a 60%. But no, I typically I try and everything I have I try to be able to use for everything.
dude, I love watching Kairos Ran on YouTube trying to game with like this really old like no key end key rollover keyboards that he gets. And then hearing him fucking curse so like all the weirdest shit he can come up with. It's pure entertainment. I like literally I've seen his videos like at least every single one. I've seen it like 5 times, but I keep on every time I have like nothing to like do chores. I just like play it on like I select all his videos and then like play it in shuffle because it's just I don't know, it's just fun to like get a little bit of keyboard lore while he's like going off on like how bad most of those keyboards are like in the past.
Um, but to answer that question for me, I do change my keyboard out based on what I'm doing. So like
Mm,
if I'm like editing in Premiere Pro or something, I switch out to my 75% because I need the additional keys rather than like keyless 60.
mhm.
Just because you do actually need additional keys in order to use all the shortcuts, be able to maneuver around timelines easier.
Yeah.
And then, but I use like a 60 almost all the time for games and work more often than not. I use a 60. But yeah, that's really the only time I change it out.
Yeah, and Dixie brings up a great point where the in-game board is just that particular board. Like I actually recently just swapped out of the 4 boards that I have because I just sold one recently. Um, of the 4 boards that I have, 3 of them I actually desoldered, and I'm changing them up a bunch because I've got stuff coming in that I want to do. But like my Fiel is probably the one board that will literally. So I put a switch that I call Zycos. I don't know if I've talked to you briefly about Zycos.
Yeah.
They're
You
dumb
should
and they look ugly, so
you should really commission Julie soon.
I need to. It was a tough time of with the holidays
Oh man. Oh,
showing
don't
up.
even start.
Yeah, so it's just
That's
like, oh, I don't have money for this because I've got to spend money on other stuff.
I'm in a
Um, So, but yeah, that's one board that I'm like, I'm done. Like, it's got Zycos. They're lubed fine. The Fiel is fantastic. Modern Dolch looks perfect on it. I could throw away the rest of the keycaps. Like, it's just, I don't need it anymore. So,
Except don't do that.
people are like, where does he live? What trash dumpster can I throw it? So, ooh,
Man,
I should try Mizu on it, though. That's a fun combination.
my mom literally throws out like random GMK like caps she finds on my desk. No joke. She's like, "Oh, do you need these plastic pieces?" I'm like, "These are like literally like worth more than whatever fuck you can ever find on like my desk." Is like, please don't like throw anything away. I don't know. Still doesn't understand like anything like that has to do with like keyboards or like the value around it. Maybe it's also because I lie mostly about like how much most stuff costs. Like
Come on.
not a like
Come on.
you know that like that
That's
saying where
standard
like
procedure.
you know like when like what is that meme? They're like saying like, oh, my biggest regret will be like when I die, my wife actually will sell my tools for what she thinks it's
She
worth
thinks they're
or
worth.
what I told her
What I
it was
what I told her.
yeah, what I paid her for. It's like the same thing with keyboards, man. It's like
Well,
damn.
what's the picture? I think it's from Magic the Gathering. That's like for $5, I'll give you a receipt that says how much you said you wanted to spend. You were gonna spend.
That would be genius for like several websites, especially for the EU customs too. Jesus Christ, man! I get hit so hard by everything I order from.
I don't even like when I think about how much my boards cost. I don't really think about the caps and the switches. I just think about the actual like board itself, and I try not to like factor everything in because then it makes me be like, man, is this really a great financial decision? Probably not, but I really enjoy it. So
That's like that's what the comfy thing about keyboards right now, I think, is that it holds its value pretty well.
yeah,
Yes.
So whatever you, especially with GMK sets, I think that's why GMK's like sets might actually be a bubble. Is like as soon as people like realize one day it's like, oh, this is not a valuable investment. It's not gonna sell for as much as I pay for it now. Then the bubble might collapse, I suppose, because not as much people will be eager to buy like a random key set because they know it's gonna lose value. But right now, whatever you buy, it's gonna like end up costing more anyways. So I'm like into every key set I vaguely like. I buy one, like at least. So I calculated how much money I have tied up in key sets right now, and it really hurts. It really hurts, and I need to reevaluate my life choices. But yeah, Jesus.
I think if you went through and just did a blank search of, and then I think I'm done buying stuff for a while in between the
Oh my,
private DMs between Osiris and I,
oh my
at
God,
least
yes.
once a month.
yeah.
It doesn't ever stop. It's like, yeah, I think after that I'll be done for a while.
It goes through
It's like,
multiple
nope.
hobbies.
Yeah, and it goes through everything you can think. It's like, yeah.
And
I will
and
say I haven't upgraded my computer. Man, this isn't really anything to brag about. I haven't upgraded my computer ever.
the worst thing is like with FOMO is like I have bought so many key sets that I was like, I'm not gonna buy this, and then one more day, or like it's like 2 more day extension, I'm like, yes, I need to buy this before it's gone. I bought another set of Bingsu, just like they're like, oh, we're extending it for a few days. I'm like, that's all you had to say, I'm sorry. Here goes another one. It's like, oh, man, I'm terrible with like keeping my money.
That's like,
Especially because I can excuse it with like, oh, I will need this for future photos, like for my, I need to feed my Instagram and I need to get like good photos out of
it's a
this.
business expense.
Yeah, it's a business expense. I can
That's
write this off, no problem.
that's
I need
literally
to make
how
investments.
that's how Osiris got his favorite board.
It's a
Oh fuck!
business.
It's only open for 3 days. Better
Oh,
get it. Hey, it worked out. It worked
out. Also, Chris Cables, that is not me. I have seen a couple
oh, it
different
isn't.
Osiris Cables. Yeah, no, that's not me. It's someone else.
Oh,
I like how the picture that pops up is I don't know what that is. A top,
It looks like it's a not done website.
and then a credit card and a pen and a thing, and then I guess mailing spot.
you should kind of address that, like, because a lot of people probably think that's you. Because I thought that was you too, to be honest.
Well, here it is. Blanket statement. Osiris Cables. That is a O, not a 0.
It's not, but yeah, but even then, it's not me. I don't make cables publicly at this point. In terms of, I don't sell them. You're partnered with Zap Cables, so I feel like that would be a little bit of a conflict of interest there. But yeah, I make cables for myself. Made a couple cables, but no, I do not have a company called Osiris Cables, because I think there was another one that got posted like last week in our Discord of someone being like, "Wait, what?" It's like, that's not me. Also, I'm just gonna put this out there, and like not trying to like rag on this website, but
You would have done a
I would
better.
have made
I'll
it
say
look better.
for you. I can say it for you. You would have done. You would have not have ever released what looks to be an unfinished thing, and you would have sent me a jillion screenshots being like, "What do you like better? This, or this?"
Yeah, very true. I just wouldn't have put it up in this state.
Searching with an O. See, Dixie, my brain always tells me that he did that so that he could have a 0, so he's always on top of every single Discord possible.
Man, my brain rots trying to like work out real names together with like usernames, and then like trying to trace of like, what is your name on Instagram, Reddit, and Discord? Because I need to like keep up with commissions. And like I know this guy on Discord has this name and he commissioned that, but now he's not on Discord, he's only on Instagram. So I need to move over like most of my communications. So I have like an Excel sheet and I'm like keeping tabs on like all the different names. It's horrible. People need to learn to use like one name consistently. Please, I beg you.
That's like um, whenever we started doing things, we started channel. I switched my Instagram from it was my first and last name before, and I switched it to Osiris TV as well, just so it matched up with what like personal Twitch is, and then what Discord is, and everything.
Yeah,
Because
Reddit's the only one that I don't have because that's my Reddit account is almost 10 years old now.
Same.
So
I,
it's definitely, but I have luckily like our mechanical keyboards lets you tag it. So I just put on there. I totally stole the idea from Jay from Top Club. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And I put Chewy Mex on deck. So if I make a comment on there, people aren't confused on who the hell Yelp guy is. Don't ask.
I have like my account on Reddit is called Q Getting Shit Done for some reason. It's like based on when I used to have like a Minecraft account. But I also have like the Qlavier, like Qlavier account. But it's like I never log in on it, and sometimes I'll log in, and then I get like a million messages of like people tagging me in the Qlavier account, and it's like, oh my god, I'm one of like these kind of people that have like inconsistent usernames. Oh, terrible.
I have the Mex on deck account. I don't think I've ever posted anything.
why is that not the account that you use to post videos?
Who knows?
He's just trying to. He's farming the karma. That's what it
Dude,
is.
you know, you gotta. I will never catch up to my wife.
What did they say for that girl? I want to. You're Chewy. You're being a karma whoring
Oh, karma whoring. Yeah,
e-girl.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
No. But back to back to what you have done in terms of like producing acrylic and stuff. You've done a lot of like very different things. You've had some crazy layouts, obviously, with like the Keyblade, the butter stick. And then you've also done some things like lube stations, like keyboard stands. Like, what all goes into that kind of design? Like, what are you? If you had to start bringing some things to a marketplace, what would you want to do? What would you want to have out there?
Right now, in the keyboard community, you mean, or
Just like in general, like what are you excited about? What are you wanting to do more of? Because you've kind of bounced around with a bunch of different things.
oh man, I really get like adrenaline kicks like designing individual boards for like individual people and like going all the way from like start to finish. So like slapping an actual PCB in there, slapping an actual like switches and keycaps on there. That's like the thing that is most fun because then you actually have like the end product and it's like build your own keyboard and then you kind of have to ship it off because it's your baby and you have to say farewell. Um, but when it comes to like actually, because I think that's why I'm like delaying going like full on mass production every time. Because the fun aspect is obviously like listening to somebody explain what their perfect keyboard is and then like trying to like you should probably go for this PCB with these switches, you probably will like this and this and this and this key set. What key sets have you bought? Oh, you're in for Olivia, okay, we should do a copper plate with like this on top and then it would be like a nice copper pink. You can slap whatever key set you have right now, but when Olivia comes in it's going to be like your end game, you know. That's what I love to do, is like talk in depth one-on-one with somebody for a long time, which can result
A
in
keyboard curator.
yeah, it's terrible because I once, like more than 6 months ago, I opened commissions and I took in a bit over 50 commissions, plus like a bunch of like friendship deals. They're like people that I know. They're like, I want this and that, and then I like take them in. So it was like over 60 like commissions, and I was like, oh, I'll go through these in like a month, like 2 weeks max. I'm like 4 months later. I'm like, fuck, I'm not even through 20 of these. and it was like horrible delays. I'm glad like people really trust me and like no, I'm not a scammer because I already took the money, you know. But then it's like, hey, it's been like 3, 4, 5 months now, and where's my keyboard? You know, like it's it's kind of impossible to like go fast enough to make it like how do you call it, like fit not physically but like fiscally like money wise valuable like possible for me to do this. So like if I could combine that with like actual going like mass production and making because I have obviously people want like 60% cases to be like wildly available. I tried that for a while on my like website. The problem is I don't ship out fast enough. Most of my shipping, like the shipping company even I work with right now, is horribly slow, unreliable. Tracking codes get fulfilled way too late. There is no automations. Like if you have 7 days in a week, I spend 1 day cutting, 2 days packaging, and then like another 3 days like following up on packages and like hotfix, resending out packages. I had a Keyblade. I did it like when I did the Keyblade group I sent everything out I think in November. And only this like almost like 9 months later, I got a return package for a Keyblade of some, but I already sent like another Keyblade to that person. But like that's how long it takes. Like it takes like
Jeez.
almost like yeah, like 2/3 of a year for like return packages to come in. So I just like even when it comes to like design, it's like one thing that I want to improve in, and being able to actually bring things to the market. It's already like it's also a big aspect of like guaranteeing that stuff will actually arrive really fast. The problem is like right now what I do is like I send out gherkin sets and macro pads, which are like really cheap things. Um, well, relatively cheap. They're not key codes, you know.
Mhm.
So I would love to like sell entire keyboard kits, PCB, actual case, and acrylic, a bunch of stuff like included. So I can just work with DHL and be like ultra fast, kind of like how most people do it, I suppose. Um, is it post? No, it's Ascendia. It's Swiss shipping. The thing is, I have like a love hate relationship with the Swiss shipping company I use. They're ultra cheap, like ultra cheap. I can send like stickers and macro pads around the world for like only €8, which is pretty cheap. But it's horribly slow. That's the only problem. But I'm going on a tangent again, man. I'm so bad at tangents. I just hope that I can do like a cycle of doing something in group buy while it's running, like while the group buy is running for like probably like 2 weeks. In that time, I can do commissions while it's running, and in the meantime, cut the previous group buy, and that hopefully will be like a good system that doesn't like run itself stuck. So I can keep producing stuff, keep like making new stuff, keep sending out stuff, keep feeding the Instagram, keep posting things on Reddit. Hopefully, keep growing because I have like I studied industrial design. I have a lot of friends that are like really into like designing stuff too. So I hope one day I can like afford an office with like my own set of laser cutters, like really grow towards something more. I've been talking to for like so long right now about doing my own like my own metal keyboard because he's like, oh, bro, you need to do like aluminum, like acrylic, man. It breaks. It's plastic, man. Like he's very biased, obviously. Um, and I really want to tackle something, but I always want to do it right. Which I struggle with because I make a lot of mistakes, as you guys probably see sometimes. So yeah, don't even know where I went with this, but it
Hey,
sounded like it was ending. So
you're sounding you're voicing out the process, and that's what I
yeah,
want to hear at least. So
aluminium over acrylic, death to unbelievers. Dilla Finn in chat, I'm calling you out. Death to you.
oof.
Seriously, like I'm gonna say something. Anyone who says that aluminum is better than acrylic has never typed on like an actual acrylic board that is all acrylic, or even with like a metal plate with like acrylic stacked on underneath it. You have no clue like how good it sounds in real life. I need to do like so many sound tests. I've been telling myself like I need to like all the boards that I own. I just need to slap on my table and like do some proper sound tests. But every time I do it, I have like too much bass in my actual mic, and there was always like a problem because it's very difficult to bring like an actual like sound, like how you hear it, like an actual realistic sound into a microphone through your PC into like a video editor, put it on YouTube, and make it like sound accurate, I suppose.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's
Hmm.
it's Chewy and I were having this conversation the other day of like it's hard because one, you more often than not you're having to boost the mic. You're having to boost that audio so much in order to get it to be super audible.
Hmm.
And there's so many factors that go into it that change, what mic are you using? What is the mic plugged into? Are you using to boost it? But yeah, there's a lot of different things that go into sound test and stuff. I've tried a couple different acrylic boards, not any of your boards, I don't think. I think maybe a Keyblade once.
Man, I need to send you one like as soon as possible. I've been like so many people have been wanting like something from me, and I feel like I'm always like, oh, soon, man. Sorry.
No worries. I actually have, I mean, I have one of your lube stations, which I've got one of the older ones, which I do enjoy using. Works out really well. Um, but it's funny though, because I feel like a lot of other people do acrylic. They try to do acrylic. So we've got like Lubricante. There's it seems like that's really popular for like the Alice
It's
style layout. There's a lot of
it
those.
has it has really exploded recently. Um, there were really like a lot of talented people making acrylic too, like the smaller ones. Because I had some problems with like some guys, because it's how do you call it? Like not calling anyone out or something, but sometimes somebody starts and they do the exact same stuff as me, and they're like trying to fit the same screw and they're trying to copy exact the same style, and they're like, oh, I want to get a brass plate in my clear acrylic case with brass screws, and then they post it online and they're like, look at my design, it looks exactly the same. It's kind of sad when they don't find their own voice. And I had some problems with one guy, and then immediately after he like shifted and found like finds his own stuff, like when somebody, how do you call it, like when you change up your stuff and then find your own hardware, and I saw like him change and like make really fucking nice and it's so nice to see, like, because I was worried about like, oh man, people are gonna like, steal my style. I know I get really defensive and like kind of paranoid about it sometimes. um and then now it's really fun to see like other people, because it's like encouraging of like, oh wait, I can do better, I can, there's more possibilities. 'Cause sometimes like this hobby starts to feel stale, and then 2 seconds later like some crazy shit happens and some crazy drama unfolds, so many words exist and new layouts and new PCBs all of a sudden. And like I feel like this hobby is really like growing so fast. And yeah, where am I going with this again? Damn,
You're
what's
good. You're
happening?
good, man. You're good, man. It's just conversation.
I have like 20 like things that are in my mind that I want. Now I feel like I said none of
No,
them.
I mean, hey, we're here just to talk and get things out that you
Mhm.
want to talk about. Thank you, Japanese horror writer, for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate it. But no, I noticed that like your acrylic boards always have little differences than what like everything else. Everything else that I've seen um, is more of like it just seems very basic, whereas it seems like your approach to what you do is a little bit more thought out. Like your edges of your board, how as the stack goes down, it gets a little bit wider, and gives it kind of like almost like a false rounded edge on the sides. Like little things like that make your boards stand out.
Mhm.
So it's awesome to
Well,
hear.
but now they're like really custom. Like there was this one guy, SM Keyboards right now. Like his keyboards look really fucking dope. Like I saw like he went from like nothing to like really dope like boards really fast. Low key keyboards, if you ever heard of him. He also recently started, and he has like a really unique, it's like where every layer is like indented, then one sticks out, one goes in, one is out, and looks kind of like a vent almost. Like you can do way more of acrylic than like I even thought, because I was like, oh, it's a pretty limiting material. Find like, because that's obviously the problem. It's like you work with layers, so you're always gonna kind of come to the same thing, and it's like I'm very relieved to see like there is so many more possibilities with like styles and like, oh, you make the forehead bigger and then you do the sides, like stick them way more out and then do a nice curve. um I don't know, I feel like there is definitely more possibilities with acrylic, and I hope people like find more materials too, because sometimes like I have like pastels right now, and it's really hard to get like a giant amount of colors because you need to take off from like suppliers. They're always like, oh, if you want to get this color, we need to order like really big plates and cut them up, because I use a pretty small cutter right now. So getting special colors is very difficult, and then like it's only more fun to see like people use like different like styles and different colors right now, which is pretty interesting. One of the things I've really been struggling with, somebody else figured out, I'm salty about that, is radiant acrylic. Because apparently in America it's like easy, like it's available, but in Europe it's almost like you can't find it anywhere. They discontinued the whole radiant. I don't know if you guys know what radiant um do I have radiant acrylic? Yes, I have one. Oh. It's do you know what iridescent?
Yeah, so it's
Iridescent.
iridescent. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Iridescent.
So I'm laughing.
So
I'm laughing because I just searched radiant acrylic on Google, and the first two pictures are yours.
wait, really?
Yeah.
It's kind of rad. Okay, that's kind of cool. Anyways, so it's called radiant iridescent acrylic, and it's like almost a rainbow. Like from every side, the acrylic has like a different kind of look. Like this, like even on screen, it's not much light, but it looks blue. Now it looks like greenish yellow. Now it looks like purple. You will see pictures on my Instagram way better. The problem is I need to make this acrylic myself by like using clear acrylic, and I put like really delicate foils on top of it that I order from China. Takes so long to get here. It's super expensive to do. And then when I laser cut it, I need to go super, super slow. Otherwise, the heat actually bubbles up the foil. I need to like apply like an extra foil on top to protect it so the smoke doesn't get it. And I was like, oh man, this takes so long. This is like not worth it. And I made like a couple of boards and I asked like a decent amount of money for them. Like for every board that I make, like 3 plates would fail. And then some other guy was like from America found like a company that actually and made like a really really nice radiant acrylic board. It's called SG. No, his name is S Grumpy Bunny, I think. He's in the Peripheral Installers Discord, and he made like, and like sometimes it's like I'm salty because I work like on something long, comes along and does it like better than me. Then I'm like, that hurts, you know. Um, but yeah, it's ups and downs, I suppose. Again, no clue where I'm going with this. I was talking about materials, right? So I hope for like when it comes to acrylic, I hope people like keep experimenting, make like and keep finding like more crazy materials to work with, instead of like going for the same like same brass and clear acrylic combo that everybody can do at this point. I've been really harassing Laser Boost because they're in Europe too. I'm talking to the guy from Laser Boost, like what is the craziest like come up with? Even Solvent, I've been telling Solvent to buy like a fiber cutter so you can actually cut like actual metal plates, because he can do some really good anodizing. It would be more fun to have like a whole array of options, not just hey, you can take copper or you can take brass, which is all pretty expensive for materials. But if you have like the whole like range of aluminum anodizing colors, like it just breaks out, like it breaks open all the possibilities for like acrylic.
Is there any other
Uh,
plastics that you're wanting to work in? Things that you maybe think that you could do some things in?
I tried before when it comes to plates. I tried before with ABS. I tried cutting palm. I'm not a fan of palm for some reason. It just feels like you're typing on like when you rest your hands on palm, it feels like your whole keyboard is already drenched in oil for some reason. So not into that. at all. I don't know. I like what acrylic offers right now. It has the most like possibilities with it too, I think. Um, oh, can I go back to the start? The one of my favorite like boards, what it looks like is a Rukia, the polycarb Rukia. It looks
Mhm.
so damn gorgeous. And every pic that I see, I'm like, I wish I like could type on this, but I can't deal with ANSI. And I need my arrow keys on an Alice, and I don't like the whole what is that actually called? Like the bottom row, like the actual where the spacebar should be and stuff. Like the whole row is so awkward, like for me to use. Um, so yeah, the Rukia is so nice. I hope one day I can make a really dope polycarb board that is like as dope as a Rukia. I hope.
Rukias are pretty nice. We were able to see a couple and hang out with Jax for a little bit. Or Cal.
Hmm.
So
Do you guys? Sorry, sorry.
no, you're good. You
Uh,
go.
do you guys think acrylic is? Because I had a discussion with somebody online once. Do you guys think that acrylic as a material is popular, or do you guys think when it comes to the Alices, do you think the actual acrylic is popular because people like the acrylic, or do you think there is just like an reasonable demand for for Alice type boards? What
I
is the
would
biggest
say
driving factor?
I would say the Alice layout
Ah,
because you don't have to. I mean, it's a layout that at one point in time around this time last year,
mm-hmm,
you know, the 40 to 50 people that had an Alice, this is the greatest typing thing you're ever going to type on. You should definitely be using this. And it was like, cool. How do I get it? You got to convince one of the other people, and you got to pay $1,500 plus for it.
mm-hmm,
And so once everything was released, all the information was released. It was like, hey, now we can actually like make these boards. And so with the acrylic, like, you know, I didn't get in on the Lubricante, but that's one that I would have gotten in on if I at the time money had been great because it's just one of those boards that's like, yeah, for $130 for a keyboard with
yeah,
keyboard and PCB is hard to pass up.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's more of like the fact that it's a layout that people want to try, and acrylic because of the cost is a good way to try that and not commit, you know, $350 $400
mm,
into it. So I don't know if it's necessarily that. I don't think it's really because they want to feel acrylic. I think it's more about, hey, I want to try this layout, this Alice style layout. I don't want to have to do
mm-hmm.
very much.
Yeah, Homero had a really like sharp prices for that. That's true. That's really yeah,
So
true.
Because I think that's one of the big benefits of acrylic is that it can add. You have the option of doing a lot with it and it not being insanely expensive. Um, you know, you can add plates like you'd mentioned brass and copper plates. It'd still not be quite the same price as something like was full aluminum board with brass plate and brass weight and all that. Gives you a lot of options.
Mm-hmm, true.
so chat, if you guys have questions for Qlavier or one of us, just please add us in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. And we also, I'm excited. I'm excited to give away this Keyblade. First giveaway of the year. We obviously waited zero time to give something away. So we enjoyed giving stuff. Oh, it's been a lot of
How will you guys give it away?
So we'll do
In
it.
chat or
Yeah, we'll do it in chat where you have to put a
a code word.
keyword. So, what would you like the keyword to be?
well, I have actually some more things to give away. I have 3 Macropad kits too.
Oh,
If you
I
want to give that
mean,
away. I'm trying to get rid of all my Macropad stuff.
I
I don't know if
think
you noticed. I'm literally throwing them at people at this point.
I think the people in chat would be okay with having more opportunities to win
yeah.
things for free.
Hmm.
So what should we make the keyword?
Uh, acrylic.
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 Okay.
You want to do the macro pads first and then the keyblade?
Do the 3 macro pads first,
Yeah.
and then the keyblade. Can you pick 3 winners at once?
Yeah.
Or how would you? Or I'm gonna let you.
We usually will like roll it, and we do it that way so that there are no repeats, so it's not awkward.
Yeah. And it'll so it is up. So type acrylic in chat to be entered to win a macro pad.
I have a question for you guys though, like about
Absolutely.
2020. What do you guys like? What are you guys excited for in the keyboard community about 2020? What do you guys? Because I saw the talk that Taiha types Nathan did. And he was talking about like, oh, I hope like keyboard designers, because he was talking about the high end community about like how he wanted like people to be more like the fashion industry and like change everything more into seasons and with like seasonal releases and like what do you guys think will happen with keyboards? Where is this gonna go from GMK caps to like I don't know new switches or like what do you guys hope for 2020? What will it bring, or where do you think it's headed? I don't know. Just I want to know your opinion in general about it,
I'll let
or
you go
what
first.
materials will be popular, or I don't know. Whatever.
So I would like to see more materials. Would like to see. I know you don't like palm plates. I like palm plates. I love my Sirius. I'd like to see palm more available. I know Chewy and I both really would love to see some things maybe more in stock options on both keycaps and keyboards. And really, we had so many keycap buys this past year. I would love to see more keyboards, like more open buy keyboard buys, because it's been
Yeah.
and I definitely want to see everything just get bigger. Just want to see everything get bigger. If it doubles again, like that same interview that Teja did, not interview, but speech that he did, he talked about the growth of the community, and he would love to see it get twice as big again next year as it did this year. I'm right there with it. I would love to see things get a little bit more professional and everything just be more like up a notch, up a tier, and it's all done.
I'm almost scared of that aspect of the community of like growing up and being like very professional. Because one of the things I really love about this community is like almost everybody in this community is like a person, a vendor, somebody that's in here that's like contactable, that like they hang out in every stream. It's like a part that I love about this community, and I'm like scared like in a year, 2 years, maybe that like it'll lose that spark of like being really like tightly like connected. But yeah.
I think we can still maintain that with having like professionalism be there. Like think about like Dixie Mac. They've stepped up their game like crazy this year. They're definitely a lot more well known. They're doing a lot bigger things overall than they were about a year ago. But he's still involved in the community. He exists in the keyboard community as just a regular dude. He just happens to run a company. So I think you can maintain that while still being like having it be things be a little bit more professional, I guess. I don't know. Oh hey,
Yeah.
Dixie.
What's up, Dixie? What I think will happen is our trajectory will probably, I don't think it's going to grow as much as it did this year, but I do think it's going to grow. You know, if we doubled from last year, I think we'll, I don't know if we'll quite double again, but I think we'll hit the same amount of growth. And just continue on. There are more content creators. I'd love to see more people get partnered, like from a Twitch point of view. We'd love to get partnered. I want to see Apiary and Top Like get partnered. So just so there's more of, more content creation that's
Mhm.
happening. I'd love to see more content creation, uh, different. I'm not to say that building keyboards is not enjoyable to watch, but I would love to see stuff other than stuff kind of like this, kind of like that. And Keybriated was one that I was excited that there's something that's coming into the scene that's not someone building a keyboard, but more things I can listen to and I don't have to look at. I guess is the big one. And so that I think what I'm excited to a lot of stuff we talk about this a lot, but like a lot of stuff that we're really excited about, we can't talk about.
Mhm.
And then I guess on a personal keyboard level, I'm excited to get a few more boards and I'm excited to take my board into group buy, into a more public group buy. So
And then Dilk Ram asks, do you think there's any space for written content still, or is it mostly about streaming slash VODs? I don't think that written content is as popular because there's not really a good one single place to consume it. If you look at content, like written content that still does really well, it's on a consistent site. It's like a established source. That's hard to really establish yourself in. And
Mhm.
with the way that things are, um, and the keyboard community as a whole, people want to see it, people want to hear it. So my thing is if you're going to write something, write it and then see how you can look at it and take it to a video format. Like what can you do to make that into a video? You could even have like just I mean, think about how many YouTube channels talk about a topic and it's just some dude playing Call of Duty and they're talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
You could do something like that of where you're talking about switches while you have just pictures, things like that. That's in a different format. Because like you
While
said, people don't read.
surfing on CS:GO.
Yeah, or surfing on CS:GO.
yeah, we've had this conversation because I enjoy things old Osiris on, and very early on, then another afterward, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like have a website and then a blog. And he was like, I mean, just do that, but then turn a camera on and just read it. And then you can at least double down on it because if you want to, if you release it and then you want to go post it somewhere else, go for it. But, you know, it's easier if you have a nice video and then someone goes, oh, and there's the Fiel that, if I wrote out a thing about the Fiel, and then just post a video of just B-roll shots of a Fiel, that will do better than just a
Mhm.
screen with words on it.
Mhm. Also, if I can answer a question that somebody asked me in chat,
Yeah, absolutely.
um,
Yeah, go for it.
it's can you explain what features you like about acrylic over other materials? Sound, feel, weight. Um, about the actual material itself, it's very versatile. The sense of I can design any kind of layout real fast. But when it comes to the actual material, um, it's kind of I don't really care about the weight itself, but a really light board to take around. I have a 60% myself with bento on top and like a really soft strawberry that I take everywhere. That is really nice. So obviously the weight is pretty nice. But just purely sound wise, I just love acrylic above everything else. There are a few boards here and there that I tried, in aluminium, that actually had like sound dampeners and like a lot of foam into the board that I really really like. But in general, like the how do you, I can't really explain it, but it's like when you type on acrylic, it just feels like I'm faster, if that makes sense. Do you know like the feeling when you type on a keyboard and some keyboards you feel really sluggish and slow on? But as soon as I tap on acrylic, I feel just faster and like
Mhm.
maybe that's what it has to do because I had a whole discussion about like bottoming out. I'm a very heavy typer. I slam my fingers on my keyboards. Um, but even I put in some of my keyboards have brass plates with acrylic underneath it, and I don't think the the brass plate gives too much. So I don't even know what the actual like metrics are that I work by. I just know acrylic sounds pretty nice. It's just a very nice material to just make keyboards out of. That is a terrible answer, I realize now, but I'm gonna roll with it anyways.
There you go. But so, and then I feel like there was one more question. It said follow up. Where was it?
He said, "What about photo?
Like Instagram or just post?" Photos don't really, to me. Photos help, but it's not like you're pushing content. Like I'm not.
Mm,
I don't want to say that because there's. I guess okay. So I'll word it in the way of like content creators such as Mex on Deck. If we can post pictures and we'll slowly grow, but a picture doesn't really do what we do justice because we do videos. So we might post pretty pictures of our keyboards, and that might slowly grow some people. But it's not really. We're not able to fully, even in like a, we were talking about this before the stream actually. Even with like a 6-second video or something like that, where we can't really show what we would actually want to show in a picture. So
Well, I think it's more of like when you go to that, you're more of using it as promotion, not as a. It's not a content itself. That becomes all 100% promotion at that. Um, like we'll use a 6-second thing to maybe hype up a new guest that we're gonna have next week, or maybe like a funny clip, just something quick. But yeah, I think photos. I don't know. I mean,
they have their place. They have their place.
yeah, I mean, if you were
mm,
making, I think he was more talking about like not just like Instagram. I think he's talking about like if you had like a blog, but then had photos to go along with it.
Oh.
I think yeah, that helps a little bit, but at the end of the day, video is going to be king. Why not just make those photos into a slideshow over what you're talking and make it into YouTube video? Because people are going to have, they're not going to be, they're not going to sit there and read it as much as they'll be willing to listen. When you're listening, you can do other things. You can skip through it. You get that. It's not as not as much as a commitment from the person who is doing.
Oh.
Hello.
You cut out for like 5. You said it's not as much as, and then
It's not as much of a commitment from the actual viewer when you're doing a video and you can read it or you can hear it, you can see the pictures of it, you can see a video, as it is to reading, to sitting down.
Yeah. All right, so we'll give it. Let's give it like 30 more seconds if you want to win a cool macro pad by Qlavier himself.
type acrylic in chat.
Acrylic in chat.
Acrylic in chat.
We'll give away 3 more, and then just PM. Just PM me, Chewy. I have more time tomorrow. Because still not working. But just PM me in the Discord, and I will get all of that information squared away.
Perfect.
Yeah, dude. Let's give away the 3 macro pads.
Head in. Just does all 3. Do the first one. First winner is
A
Axot.
Axot, there he is.
A
That's the first one. The second winner.
A
There he is. A.
A
The second winner will be
Singapore.
And type in the chat
A
so we know.
question mark.
Yeah, A. A question mark.
Eh?
There he is. There he is. Then the third will be Ron_DG. Those are the 3 winners of the macro pad.
somebody also asked a question about the commissions. Is burnt titanium going to be an option? Burnt titanium is super experimental. First of all, the actual plates themselves warp really quickly when you burn them with like titanium needs to be flamed, and the actual plates will like bend and like how do you call that, like deform? Yeah,
Mhm.
warp. So I don't feel comfortable actually like selling these on commission because I'm never 100% sure like if it's actually gonna arrive right. They're also insanely expensive. Um, so I'm never gonna do those on commission. I'm gonna like raffle some of this off or probably give away. Because again, they're not in perfect condition. Yeah, those are quick. Oh yeah, if I can plug myself,
Yeah, go
commissions
for it.
will commissions will open in a bit under 12 hours. I'll only take in 24 spots right now, unless you have like some really special IDs or I don't know. You can literally like it's a low key, a little bit of a thing that I'm gonna admit is you can always slide in my DMs and offer me enough money or a crazy enough idea that I might just do it. I had some people come at me with like some really interesting stuff, and I love doing really custom stuff as long as it's a very directed idea that is like worked out. Some people come at me, they're like, "Oh, I want a commission. What layouts? What layouts are there?" And I'm like, "Fuck, this is not gonna work out." Um, or I send them like keyboard layout editor, and they make the weirdest like keyboard ever. I'm like, "What PCB can you use for this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I thought you make PCBs." I'm like, yeah, no, it's hard sometimes, but
It does not look like Ron DG has responded yet. If you are here, Ron, can you type in the chat so we know that you did hear?
Ron, please
If
drop an
not, we'll
H.
we'll re-roll it here in just a second. Ron, you did win one of the macro pads.
Ron! Ron, where are you, Ron? Come in! Wake up!
I'll give it a
Pull
couple,
over to the side of the road.
I'll give it a couple more seconds here, but then we'll just go ahead and re-roll it. And
This
then
guy fell asleep.
maybe he did. All right, we'll go ahead and re-roll the last macro pad, and then we will roll the keyblade. So
Last time it was
Buffufta?
Buffuffed.
There it is. And he
It's here.
immediately responded.
Wow, you won a macro pad. Singapore, you can PM Chewy.
Oh yeah, make sure all of you guys know how to solder. Just FYI. If you can't solder, you can always DM me and I can just quick thing.
Yeah, Macanova, you shouldn't wear headphones. You should wear headphones when you talk to me in person. Although I am not as loud, I will say this, and Moon and Rick, if you two are listening to me, those two are the loudest humans I have ever met. Specifically Moon. That guy is, I thought I was loud.
He's
I
loud,
know
dude.
I'm loud. Anyway, he's got that West Coast swag. All right. What should the next word be for the Keyblade?
Keyblade.
Hmm.
Should we just make it Keyblade?
Oh no, it should be, what did he type? You make keyboard sword. What was that? It's too far to.
Wait, is it still? Wait, maybe it's copy pasted. Yes, you should make a sword for handle for it, weapon, and keyboard dot. By the way, I kind of also want to say, please do not enter the giveaway if you're like not like if you're only vaguely interested in the Keyblade. It's like a really weird thing, and I love giving away shit to people that will actually like really treasure it. So if you really want it, and if you're gonna type on it or like rock it or carry it around and take it to meetups, definitely enter. If you're like vaguely interested, like keep it. Like join another giveaway. There will be more giveaways
We
in
will
the
give
future.
more stuff away, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's do sword.
You sword.
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 No, okay,
Well,
so the keyword is sword. So type sword in the chat if you would like to win a keyblade.
did anyone cringe hardcore when they saw the new Star Wars movie and they called it laser swords again?
I haven't
I
even
haven't
seen
seen
it.
the new Star Wars movie yet. I'm really bad. I know, and I even go by Chewie. I just haven't found the time.
Are you guys excited for it? And
Yeah.
I watched the. I'm not gonna spoil anything, so no worries. I thought I really disliked the last movie, so I wanted to see the new movie, but I didn't want to give Disney money. So I downloaded the illegal torrent. I
Oof,
watched
got
it,
him.
and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people hate it, and I kind of liked it. It
There
was a
you go.
decent. It was a pretty decent, good movie. I'm
I was
sorry
not a
if I'm
fan
wearing
of the
anyone
set.
out.
I was not a fan of the last one. Like I even literally
Mhm.
walked out of the movie theater, turned around, and was like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
and and I've watched it multiple times again, and I like half that movie, but there's just so much of that movie you could leave out. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch it, and no spoilers. But if Chewie dies, I'm just gonna crawl into a hole and cry. Anyway, keyblade for it to enter. Type the word sword to enter to win the keyblade. Real quick, I'll go through our sponsors. You can go to mexondeck.dixiemech.com. GMK Burgundy is right around the corner, so be sure to keep a lookout for that. You can go to switchmod.net/mexondeck for 4% off lube and springs and other goodies. And he's got GMK Metaverse Round 2 coming up on January 18th. And last but not least, Zap Cables, who is going to be, he's changed up his structure some. So he's going to be doing more focus on DIY kits as well as making pre-made cables. So it's going to be, I'm really excited to see. We need to have him on soon and go through the whole process. So let's see.
Absolutely. And we are also, for those of y'all who are here that don't know, we have also started streaming on Monday nights. So we stream Monday and Wednesday now at 8 p.m. Central Time. Mondays is just Chewy and myself. And then Wednesdays is Chewy, myself, and a guest such as VA.
Hey.
Again, type sword in the chat if you would like to win a keyblade. They're pretty cool.
Can I also shill someone
Go ahead and
Go
in the
show.
for it.
meantime? Okay, so there is one guy that I know that I kind of got into keyboards, and he designed his own keyboard recently. I've already talked about kind of keyboards. His name is Milo. I think he's pretty new still, and he's trying to figure everything out. So if you guys could give him some love, can I paste an Instagram link in
Yeah,
Go
go
for
ahead.
it.
the chat?
Yourself out.
Just go check it out. If you don't like it, don't bother. But if you like it, leave a comment, leave some constructive criticism, like his pictures, follow him, tell him that I said hi from Qlavier or something. But definitely, like, please go check him out. If anything, it would like definitely go check him out
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
because I really think he's doing something special, and he has a lot more ideas like that he showed me, and like I feel like if this takes off, I feel like he can really be like the next big thing maybe in the community. I know it's like a weird thing to say, but he has like a lot of potential. So yeah.
Well, we
Yep.
still have our last two questions, the final two that we need to ask. And once we finish those, then we'll roll for the keyblade. So the first one is the more serious one, and that would be what is your favorite and least favorite thing about the community right now?
My favorite thing about the community is just how warm it is. How like helpful, how like pushing forward they are. But that backfires. I feel like it's always the same thing. I have been in a little bit of a feud with the 40% Discord. I tend to like be horrible with criticism sometimes. Not even criticism, but like when people say stuff that I don't agree with, or well, it is criticism sometimes. Or just a lot of like not lies, but like gossip that goes out of control, which becomes a lie, I suppose. So you have to like squash those because like who the hell even starts like random rumors or something? And the 40% Discord kind of started memeing on because I kept on sliding into the Discord. So that's like the part of like the community that I dislike, but at the same time, it's like it like you know it's supposed to be there. I don't know. Don't even know where I'm going with this again, but I kind of love and hate the 40% Discord. That's something. For the rest, I don't know. I love hopping in streams constantly everywhere. Just looking up what people are up to. It's like my new version of TV. It's like how you zap channels. It's like I love to go like late night, open Twitch and just like click around, see what people are doing. And I hope more people stream. Even though if you only get like like viewers, like just do it. Just start streaming yourself. It's fun, talk to people. I will hop in like whenever I find somebody new, I follow them, I hop in, I like talk to them for hours in Twitch chat, and I waste my time while I like draw out my own designs while watching like Twitch streams. It's like I think it's very fun. I wish there was like a Twitch concept where like this would be more easier to do. Like it's almost like streaming, but people could like hop in and hop out almost and like talk in the meantime. I don't know. It's kind of maybe it's like almost like a Discord call, I suppose, but like
Mhm.
live because this is very comfy to do. So yeah, I like watching these interviews. So yeah.
And quick shout out to the City at Night. He just posted in the chat. He just started streaming not too long ago. Go check him out. Cool dude. Was in this stream the other night. Really cool guy. Was building an M60A with linears. I think he said he doesn't really like it very much, but yeah, really cool dude. Go check him out.
Nice. Last question. It is our every answer question. And you are 100% allowed because you do not live in America. I completely understand if your answer is neither, but what is your favorite of the two favorite TV shows of ours, Office or Parks and Rec?
I watch both of them.
Oh,
Way too much.
there it is.
To be honest, uh, God, man, I literally went. You know, like when you go into the shower and philosophy discussions with yourself. I had like a whole
Yes.
discussion in my own mind after you asked this question, and I came down to the answer of Parks and Rec because Parks and Rec is so much bigger than The Office was in terms of characters and what they became. There was real growth, and I feel like The Office was really stagnant, especially towards the end. And Parks and Rec knew when to end it. Um, the characters are so much more vibrant too. The jokes really rewatchable. Um, I don't know. Like there's just so much quotable stuff in there, and the worst thing is nobody around me has seen it, so I can't quote anything without sounding like a dumbass. But Little Sebastian for life,
Sebastian for
definitely,
We love
definitely.
ourselves some little Sebastian around these parts. Again, type sword in chat if you would like to be entered to win a free Keyblade.
Yeah. And
Wait, free? What was it?
Free?
Free?
Free.
I thought.
yeah, you get
I
the
thought
chance to buy it. So last thing, I will be streaming a build tomorrow night. For those who know, because I work at the school, I'm still off. This is kind of a random. I did not stream. I was gonna. We had talked about streaming last night, but then we were like, "Oh yeah, that's New Year's." So we typically will do build streams on Tuesdays, but tomorrow will be kind of more of a special deal. So I will be streaming tomorrow, probably at 8. If that changes, I will just join our Discord. And
What board are you building?
so this is actually interesting. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I'm building my for a customer.
Your what?
My own tofu that I sold
Ah,
for a customer. So
nice.
it should be fun. This is a weird. It's a win keyless tofu fixed plate, or not fixed plate, but integrated plate. And is one of the best. Is still one of the best sounding boards. Like it's weird.
Does sound really
It's like it's strange. So be sure to come by and hang out. Get to talk to you there. So, sword, have a sword fight. Please don't break the board. And once again, Qlavier is in no way, shape, or form held liable if you choose to commit crimes with this weapon.
Please send me really cool videos or photos where you beat your friends up with it. Please, I beg you. I need more photos. I hate it when I send out boards and I get no pictures back. I gave out so many stickers, car stickers at the Paris meetup, and I told every single one of them, like over 100 stickers. I told every single one of them, please send me a photo of your car with the sticker on it, and nobody sent one. I hate all of you. Please send me pictures. I beg.
So if you win, please send him some pictures of you enjoying the Keyblade. And for those who won the macro pads, please send him pictures of that when you do get them. With that being said, last couple seconds to enter. Type sword in chat to be entered to win the Keyblade. It's a blue one, correct? It's azul. I don't know how to say blue in French. It's blue in French.
Qlavier, I don't remember. Qlavier,
Yes, sir. What?
it's blue, correct?
Yeah, yes, but it's very dark.
Navy.
It's like emerald. Like no, like because you stack the acrylic, it's like emerald almost.
Bleu.
It's
Oh, that's right. It is
very
bleu.
bleh.
Yeah.
Oh man, I actually also have a cyber blade. And I have so much. I have. You guys have no clue. I have like a Kia, like with all the little squares.
Mhm.
It's like every square is filled with like I would say trash. It's all like usable acrylic, but it's like in one way or another I can't. But I can't give it away. And I've been like trying to slowly like get rid of stock, and I've been giving away so much stuff to like random people. I'm gonna go broke. Nobody's gonna buy anything of me because I'm gonna send everything out already. But yeah,
So,
I wonder
Janky,
what like most people do, all their prototypes and like leftovers. To be honest,
Janky Render, you do not get a bonus in real life, but in spirit, absolutely.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and roll the giveaway for the Keyblade. Winner is Chris Cables.
Boom.
You are the winner of the Keyblade.
wait, this is rigged, bro. Rigged. Hey, no.
Congrats, but rigged.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
He's got no reason to
Th-
post crap tons of pictures.
Yeah, please.
So Chris Cable, you can either hit up either PM me or Qlavier, and we'll get you taken care of in our Discord. So thank you guys again. Like I said, we'll be live. I will be live tomorrow with a build. And Happy New Year's, guys.
Yeah.
Qlavier, thank you for coming on. Definitely appreciate it. I know, yeah, real champ. It's difficult to get EU or people outside of the North and South American time zones. So
Mhm.
thank you. You're definitely a champ for staying up. And you like literally traveled like by train today.
Yeah, it was sterile. Like, oh man, like you have like things you need to do with your family sometimes, and then you're like, oh, do I like bail on my family right now? And then you realize it doesn't really matter. Nothing is happening over there. So then you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna jump on a train and go home because I want to do this. Because I felt so guilty of like promising this, and I was like, yeah, I'll be there, and then like at the last second, I was like, hey, I might not be there. I don't know, felt guilty. Had to come on. And I
Well,
really enjoyed this, even though I'm like mentally dying right now.
Definitely appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
and Dilkram, is it? I assume yes. Welcome.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully you can stay up for a few more.
Dilkrom, big shout out to that guy. He's a real G.
He's a real one.
He's a real one.
So Chewy, who are we rating? Who are we hosting?
I am me, you are you, as is tradition. He's one of the more favorable ones. I enjoy reading. I love talking to him. I watched him build a baka and say nice things, and then save that video. So boost my ego even more. So, but thank you guys. Go hit up I am you are you. He's such a fun dude to hang out with, and y'all have a good evening.
Goodbye, boys.
Boy, switch tester.